KSL Sports Zone. The noon hour is here.
Check it out.
And you're locked on to Utah's highest rated, most listened to sports radio station.
It's my station. It's my station.
This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hey, let's get it, folks. Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. We're all back in the studio together at the same time. Life is good. How you doing, buddy?
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year, 2026. It is upon us.
Happy New Year. Onward and upward. We're better together. Together we reach.
You beat me to it.
We're onward and upward.
Oh, man.
A couple of people aren't going to stop us.
No, we're not going to Ann Arbor. I mean, nobody's really asked us to go. But if they were, we would say no. Well, I guess, or it depends on how much money. Dude, you look tan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bro.
you got some sun.
I've been sunning the body. I have been where shirts are not required for a couple of different weeks out of the last three.
And here's the thing. You and I have the same kind of skin tone where it's usually either regular or extra crispy in terms of baking under the sun. And so I know how much sun it takes to get to that level of bronze.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. And you've gotten a lot.
And it takes the right amount of UV.
Yes.
And Florida was a 4 all day, pretty much every day. And 4 is that sweet spot where you can just be shirtless without sun lotion. And you just, because I do subscribe to the fact, or to the no sun lotion thing.
Oh, really?
Like I either stay out of the sun or in the sun, but I don't do the sun lotion thing.
What do doctors know? They don't know anything.
They don't know nothing.
Plus, they don't make an SPF large enough for our number.
No, it doesn't matter. You throw on a 60, it doesn't matter. But yeah, I've had a blast. And I know we've got a ton of things to get to. A ton of things. Are you in a good mood?
I'm in a great mood.
All right, so I can have a little fun with you.
You can always have fun with me.
Okay, so I got 2 things for you.
All right.
Number 1 is your favorite beanie.
Oh, I knew I left that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Number 1's your favorite beanie.
Yes, thank you, because I came in to say hi to you guys in the booth, and then I went back after you guys had left, and it was gone.
Number 2 is going to make you even more happy because you left it on the table, and I saw it, and I was like, oh, I don't want Paul to see that.
I was afraid of that. The raisins.
And I got him before he saw him.
Oh, good.
Okay.
I was scared to death about that.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you that Scotty and I were in Idaho together, and we were up in the booth, and we're having a blast. I mean, we're going over Utah State rosters, and we're getting ready to call football games. And we got all kind of energy, and Paul, who's the play-by-play voice of Fresno.
Paul Leffler.
He's in the booth with us, and we're laughing. And Paul pulls out this amazing gift.
Yeah.
Like, this is a great gift. And he set it on the table, and then we got going back and forth, and you walked off. And I was like, geez, that's a lovely bag of expensive goods.
Fresno State raisins.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I mean, that's probably, I guess you could probably get that at Costco for $5. Inside joke.
And we're off.
But you walked out, and I looked, I'm like, oh, I snatched it off the table because I'm like,
smart.
Because if somebody who gives a gift sees the gift sitting there like, wow.
Yeah.
Now, what's funny is I put it in my bag, and I'm like, yes, I'm saving my buddy's good name. And I'm headed out of the building. I'm like, I hope this was his and not another bag that was for Paul. Like, I was hoping, like, I didn't just swipe Paul's bag of raisins.
So he's down 2 bags.
Yeah, because I'm like, maybe Scotty did take his, and I just took.
Nope.
I just
Scotty, you're actually very fortunate that I even made it to you. I'm surprised he didn't.
Well, no, because I even
those
asked Hans there, like, you want some raisins? And Hans looked at me like,
oh, no, I love raisins.
Oh, do you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I'm a raisins in the cinnamon roll guy. I love plump raisins in my cinnamon.
And these are the best raisins right off the Fresno State campus.
Yeah, and I was laughing. I'm like, I got him. I got my guy.
So I was actually a little nervous because I knew I'd left them. So Paul and I see each other maybe once or twice a year because he's the play-by-play guy at Fresno State. And I didn't call the football game this year. I was on a basketball trip when Utah State went there. So it'd been forever since I saw Paul. But then I was supposed to do the potato bowl with you, but because Utah State went to the game, that means I had to do the local call. And so they brought in Paul Leffler to do the national call with you.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side, he was supposed to do the national call in the Arizona Bowl. But because Fresno went to the Arizona Bowl, they brought me in.
Yeah.
And so I saw Paul down there. And then 2 days later, we were in Fresno doing a basketball game.
Oh, that's funny.
So I saw Paul like 3 times.
He's a good dude.
He is. And you know what? You know how
Good at his job.
Brooks makes those marshmallows?
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was going to bring you some in, but they got eaten. And I brought a big box in for Paul at Arizona. And I brought him into the booth. And Mike Sanford and our guy down in Vegas
Smashed him.
just smashed him. Tim, yeah. And I'm like,
smashed him.
well, never mind, Paul. I don't have a gift for you. But Paul Loeffler, honestly, I know people don't know who he is. He's genuinely one of the nicest guys on the planet.
Yeah, he's great at his job, too. And I found out that he has been doing the National Spelling Bee. He's been the color and play-by-play of the National Spelling Bee for like 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lloyd. Like, he's the one that's like, and now coming to the stage, coming to us from Bolivia, this man has...
Now coming to the stage, that sounds a little different.
This 13-year-old has a spelling record of 14 words straight.
This 5 foot, 110-pound math head from Indonesia.
He's a 110-pound math head.
Another inside joke.
110-pound math head. Look at the words, you idiot. It doesn't say meth head. It's meathead. Sorry.
My bad.
But, man, it's been a fun few weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I have been hitting and missing all over the place. But
And now, then out of California, he's a corn-fed meth head.
oh dude, the director's all cut. What are you talking about? Do you know how to read? It's spelled Meathead. That's meathead, you meathead.
Smells manly. Smells.
Honest mistake, honestly. I mean, look at the guy. He could be a meth head.
I'm not kidding. And all these bullies that I was calling into the ring for bully beatdown, they were rough characters.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's more likely he was that than a meathead.
For sure.
But, oh, man, that's funny.
All right, we got a busy show for you. Let's get to it. Hans and Scotty, your starting lineup. Oh, little craziness in the world of Utah college athletics. Let's get to it right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This is Hans and Scotty G.
Let's go!
The lineup is set, and it's time to kick off the show with the biggest topic of the day. This is the starting lineup on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone, your starting lineup, brought to you by Mountain Land Supply, where the pros go for all of your irrigation needs or plumbing needs. Let's be honest here, if water runs through it, Mountain Land's going to get you taken care of. Go to mountainland.com to find the location nearest you. Hans, there's so much going on right now that, frankly, I don't even know where to begin. I mean, we've got coaches leaving, coaches staying, coaches still being pursued, players, the portal opened up at midnight. So that, obviously is another layer to all of this as well. It's just like a tidal wave, a fire hose of craziness going on here in the state of Utah.
All right. I think let's start with what I think people are most interested in, and that is the vacated spots and the potential replacements of the vacated spots. Don't you think? I think that's
the best move.
Kind of top priority. And I was on with the boys of Sports Nation on BYU TV, and I was kind of talking about my hopes and my wish list. First things first, Scotty, I want to keep as much continuity both at BYU and Utah as humanly possible. So if I can keep continuity at both BYU and Utah, I'm going to do it as much as I possibly can. So I'm running internal hires. So with BYU, a lot of the conclusions I've drawn, and that's all it is it's conclusions. A lot of the conclusions I've drawn and a lot of my wish list has to do with the guys that are currently on staff. So as you take Jay Hill, I would like as little fallout as possible, and I'd like to keep things business as usual as much as possible. So to draw that conclusion, you're thinking, all right, well, it's Janelle Gifford, because Janelle Gifford has been with Kalani for whatever it is now, 10 years, And Gennaro Guilford seems to be in line to grow. And you would think that Gennaro Guilford would be a potential candidate to move with Jay Hill because that corner position has been so good. So it's like, all right, that you draw your conclusions of, I think it's this guy, or I think it should be this guy. I think I could draw the same conclusions for a guy like Kelly Poppinga. You know, Kelly Poppinga has been around with Kalani Sitake a lot of years, and Kalani Poppinga has largely been glue for that defense, and he's done a lot of good things for that defense. So you could draw the same conclusion for a guy like Kelly Poppinga and just say, all right, if it's not Gennaro Guilford, then make it Kelly Poppinga. If it's not Gennaro Guilford or Kelly Poppinga, find somebody else internally defensively. You know, I don't know what the growth and development of a guy like Sione Puai is, but make it that. But I think the biggest key in all of this is to make sure that Gary Andersen stays in place. I think Gary Andersen is the key. He's the key to continuity. He's the key to scheme. He's the key to calls and helping raise whoever is in that DC position, helping raise them as a defensive coordinator.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've known Gary a lot of years.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, I know you worked a lot with him when he was at Utah State as the head coach, and you've known him a lot of years. And by the way, Gary Andersen is going to join us at 105 today.
Yes, he is.
He's going to jump on with us, and we're just going to go over everything, where he's at. Because, you know, Gary, I'm sure, has been through the ringer on a lot of things. And I'm just excited to kind of get his take on where he's at mentally, as you and I have watched him through the years. It was crazy to us that he jumped back in the game.
Oh, yeah.
Because I thought the dude was off in the sunset.
Running the collective up in Logan, you think that that's where he's just going to end up riding off into the sunset. Then all of a sudden you see him coaching on the sidelines. And at first it was just like I'll help out here and there. And then it just got more and more and more and more. And pretty soon he's got a huge say in what's going on down there.
Yeah. And rightfully so.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you're Kalani Sitake, who's the number one guy you would trust?
Gary Andersen.
Gary Andersen.
Yes.
Because you've been with Gary a long time. They went on a lot of rides together, man. A lot of rides together. And when Kalani was cutting his teeth at the Division I FBS level, you know, Gary's right there helping him along the way. So I think that Gary is the key. I think continuity is the key. I think Gennaro Guilford would be a great hire. I think that Kelly Poppinga would be a great hire. And if it's not them, then you start to look outside the box a little bit. And that's fine. If you have to, look outside the box a little bit. But as long as you've got Gary Andersen in there kind of unrolling the fabric of this defense, then you can find talent that will help develop the talent, that will work their butts off. You want to find grinders. You want to find people that are still hungry and driven, because BYU has ridden a hot streak the last 2 years. And I've had an opportunity as a color analyst to call a lot of wins. A lot of wins. And I kind of gotten used to it. Like it's a nice thing to call a lot of wins.
By the way, it's hard going backwards as an analyst and as a play-by-play guy. Yeah. It's not fun.
Yeah, see, because I started in 3 years ago with Greg Wrubell.
Yeah.
And it was 5 wins. And it was like, it was 5 wins, and it was Big 12 introduction, and it was like, and I keep telling myself, just be patient, be calm, you know, ride the storm. This thing's going to get better, and it got better fast. And then it got better than when I thought it was at its near best. It got better, and you're like, geez, I don't want that to leave. And I'm sure that's how BYU fans feel, and I'm sure that's how Utah fans feel, because they've had the luxury of Kyle Whittingham for 20 years and a lot of wins. And that's definitely how the three of us feel on this show, because we've had the opportunity to be on air through a lot of good seasons, and we don't want that to change.
No.
So the best way for me to see it not change is to keep the best guys around. You lost Jay Hill. All right, so Jay Hill, it hurts. You got Gary Andersen. Gary Andersen can stabilize as long as he continues on that staff. You've got Gennaro Guilford. it's still up in the air what he's done because we haven't seen an official announcement, but I sure would love to see him stay at BYU. I would love to see Kelly Poppinga stay at BYU and get that opportunity as a play caller if it falls to him. So there are a lot of great talent in that coaching room, and I just hope that the bulk of the moves are internal. And then there's going to be a couple of external pieces that you got to fill with.
Yeah. By the way, is Chad Kahaha still in the mix down there?
Chad is still there. Yeah.
Okay.
Chad has been part of the crew all through the season, and that's something maybe we can ask Gary Andersen about. But Chad is somebody you absolutely could lean on, give him more responsibility because he's spectacular at his expertise too.
I want to flip a little bit to the offensive side there at BYU because I know there was a lot of conversations in PK throughout last week, or I guess earlier in the week. It keeps feeling like it's a Monday today, but earlier in the week that A-Rod was a distinct possibility filling in for Jason Beck at the University of Utah. And at the time, I think there were a lot of legs to that. Right now, I would actually be pretty surprised if A-Rod leaves. I think A-Rod's pretty entrenched at BYU now, and I feel pretty strong about that.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's great news because when PK said it, it kind of sent shockwaves.
Yeah. And by the way, this isn't and PK never said that he was going. He said keep an eye on it. It's a distinct possibility. And at the time, I think that A-Rod was weighing some options. I do think Morgan probably made a phone call and said, hey, you know what? How would you like to come back? And you look at the family situation, you look at what else is going on. You're thinking, okay, this is I can make this work. And I think that now you start to get conversations in with Brian Santiago, your agent, and everybody else. And then like, okay, well, this is what I'm going to need to stay. And I'm not sure if I'm just throwing out hypotheticals, but I know BYU lost Jay Hill. You don't want to lose your offensive coordinator. So it's like, all right, what do we need to keep you? Let's find a way to make it happen. And to me, I would be surprised at this point if A-Rod leaves.
Well, A-Rod staying would be a great thing because it would give you the continuity I've talked about. I think Roderick has established himself as a very brilliant organizer, a very solid game play manager, just making sure that his weak spots are covered and his strong spots are emphasized. I think that he's done a great job with that. And the other thing is, I think, at least I feel like TJ Woods is attached to Aaron Roderick.
Yes, yeah.
And TJ Woods is a must keep. He is, you got to have him. And my guess is if I'm the University of Utah and I just lose Jim Harding, my number one goal is to get TJ Woods.
Yeah.
If I can get TJ, that's a big move for me.
Now, your offensive coordinator will essentially want his guys, and he may have a offensive line coach attached to him.
Yeah.
But TJ Woods is one of the exceptions where if I'm Morgan, I'm like, hey, I have a chance to get this guy. I know you want to bring in your own guys, but trust me, this dude's elite at his position group. This is somebody I'm going to highly encourage you to have a long, hard chat with if TJ Woods is interested.
Yeah, but
which I don't know if he is.
But if Aaron Roderick stays at BYU, I got to imagine TJ stays with Aaron.
I would think so too.
And I think that that's critical importance. But I feel like the offensive side is it feels stable with what you're saying and what you're telling me based off of some of the rumblings earlier in the week. That helps me feel a lot more comfortable with the offensive side of the ball because, transfer portal's open. It's another area that you and I are going to jump into and talk about. But the transfer portal's open, and there are players, including a true freshman quarterback, that you worry about. Like, don't go test it. Don't go see what it's about. Just go talk to your coaches and have your agent talk to the coaches or agents talk to the GM of the team now, which is a weird thing to say, and get that taken care of. You don't need to go test the waters. Like you're going to break records and you're going to be a historical marker here if you just stay and continue to develop. And your offensive coordinator's staying and your O-line coach is staying and your receivers coach is staying, so you should stay. Hopefully that's attached to it. But the Jay Hill thing, just to kind of wrap up the BYU scenarios, the Jay Hill thing, it definitely leaves a gaping hole in that defensive staff. It does. But I think that hole can be sealed up by Gary Andersen. And if Gennaro Guilford, because I know that he's a hot commodity, because I know that Jay Hill loves him. And think about the corner play. Why wouldn't you think that's a possibility?
Oh, yeah.
But, if you can secure him, fine. If not, make sure you're securing Kelly Poppinga, who's a Cougar through and through, and doesn't seem like he's being courted as much or has had the interest maybe as much. And you can keep him as a defensive coordinator, and that'd be incredible too, because, again, you keep that flow. And I think that's important.
Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. How's this for a lineup? Gary Andersen at 105, and some guy named Eric Weddle joining us at 205. Eric, he was a proud papa over the weekend, looking at Morgan Scalley roaming those sidelines, getting a victory. So Eric's on cloud 9. We'll talk to him
Morgan
coming up.
Is too.
And Morgan, yes, obviously is. We'll hear from him coming up at 205. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Looking for the latest on the Jazz, Utes, Cougars, and Aggies? Yeah, we've got you covered. This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G on 97.5, the Sports Zone.
Hans Olsen, Scott Gerard, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. By the way, heck of a game for Morgan Scalley, that University of Utah team. Mm-hmm. For a moment there, you and I were texting a bit when it was 2 touchdowns in what seemed to be like 5 plays right out of the gate for Nebraska.
75 yards rushing in the first series.
Yes, and it's like, uh-oh, Kansas State, here we go again. And Utah cinched things up. Offense started clicking. Devin Dampier may have played his best game in a University of Utah uniform, and Utah ends up rolling en route to an impressive victory. And I couldn't be happier for Morgan Scalley. And I feel bad a little bit for Morgan because I think he's been caught up in all of this stuff surrounding Kyle and maybe getting attached to the University of Utah versus Kyle Whittingham. Yeah. It's not Morgan Scalley versus Kyle Whittingham. And Kyle's moved on, and this is Morgan's show. And every Utah fan, be as supportive as you can for Morgan Scalley because he's a good dude. He deserves it. He's a legendary Ute and could not be happier for him in this position.
I wonder if Gary would talk about this a little bit when he's on at 105. Because when Urban Meyer left and Kyle Whittingham took the job.
Yes.
I think that there were only 3 that stayed. I think he had to fill 8 or 9 positions.
I think so. Certainly on the offensive side because Sanford left. Sanford got the head coaching job at UNLV. Dan Mullen went with Urban to Florida. I think Billy Gonzalez went to Florida as well. I think you're right, yeah.
I think it was Kyle, Gary.
Yes, because Gary was made DC.
And that was it.
I don't know if there's anybody else there.
I think that might have been it. So, well, the legend of Witt started then.
Yes. Yep. Andy Ludwig was not on that staff, and he brought Andy in as his OC.
Yeah. And he goes from that 04, insane 04 season, and in 4 seasons, he's right back with an undefeated team.
Yeah. By the way, Jay Hill may have been on that staff in some way, shape, or form. The 04 staff. Yeah.
Might have been a special teams guy.
May have been, yeah.
But I think back to that moment, and it's like that staff was depleted, man.
Yes.
And Coach Witt went to work and was able to fill the gaps and start to build his own coaching tree. And people can look at this for Utah as a really bad thing. I look at it as a really great opportunity for Morgan to start his legacy.
Agreed.
Just like Kyle Whittingham did.
Yep, agreed.
And it's like, okay, all right, here we go. You start your legacy, or we figure out that you don't have the connections, you don't have the vision for the coaches, you don't have the vision for the talent, and you're not the right guy for the job. Which, by the way, that ain't happening. It's just not happening. Morgan is the right guy. And when you see the support that he gets from his former players, and I'm friends with a lot of those guys, and I've been talking to them over the weekend, and, we're going to have Eric Weddle on at 2:05, and you're going to hear the joy and excitement. Oh, hey, by the way, if anybody could bring Eric Weddle into the coaching game at the collegiate level, it'd be Morgan Scalley.
Correct.
If Morgan called Eric and was like, hey, Eric, we got to come sit and meet, and Eric's like, I'm still trying to do the kids thing, and I'm still the high school football this and that, and I'm still this. And Morgan's like, no, you know what you are? You are I guess he wouldn't call him my Morgan Scalley, but you are the next Morgan Scalley. You're the next big thing.
Yeah.
And we're going to do this together. And this is how we're going to do it. And it doesn't just stop there. There are so many different names. Names like Jordan Gross. Jordan Gross has taken the Fruitland Grizzlies that I used to have to play against in Idaho. He's taken the Fruitland Grizzlies to a couple state championships as a head coach. And I think he loves coaching his kids, and he loves being back in his hometown of Fruitland, and he's doing great. But
has all the money in the world. He's fine.
But I'm like, you know what? I wouldn't mind having an NFL Pro Bowler, potential future Hall of Fame offensive line guy as my offensive line coach. Hey, Jordan, I need your help. And I'm using some of the big names of Utah, but that's the leverage Morgan has. I mean, he could call Steve Smith and be like, Steve, I know things are crazy, and you're an analyst, and things were really crazy. And by the way, I'm not saying Steve Smith, because I don't think Steve would ever coach, and I don't think Morgan would go that direction. I'm just saying he can call those guys. Morgan can look at Sharif Shah, who, I was having a conversation with a member of he's a part of the Utah group. And I was saying, geez, I think Utah just lost their best recruiter specifically, and maybe even best recruiters. And the guy cut me off short and said, no. Sharif Shah's always that, and will always be that. Always has been that, and will always be that. And I'm like, oh, wait. Yeah, Sharif's there with Morgan. So lean into Sharif. Colton Swan, all he's done is build NFL talent since sending Taco Bell into the draft, and building Devin Lloyd, and building everything, all things linebacker at Utah. So he's good. I look at this, I'm like, man, this is a chance for opportunity. There's no reason for me to be bitter.
By the way, Taco Bell is Cody Barton, if you're wondering. It was Arby's.
No, it was Del Taco. No, it was Arby's. It was Arby's. It was Arby's, wasn't
Scotty
it?
called him Arby's.
Before he became great.
All right, look.
Just letting everybody know, we got all these inside jokes today.
They're not all hits. Like, every now and then we miss from time to time.
He brings the mates.
But Morgan also showed that he's got a hand on things. That bowl game looked very organized.
Oh, yeah.
And Jason Beck's offense looked too good to be real. It's like, he put that offense on a big stage, and it looked extremely good. So,
in fact, Michigan fans are probably watching that game more than their own game.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And they're probably looking. I mean, I saw a lot of people from Michigan, because I did a little Michigan football column on the old Twitter machine, and there were some out there that were saying, "Hey, don't give all this money to their quarterback. Give that money, invest it back in the program, get this Dampier kid, and spread that money around, and let's build the roster." Which, honestly, financially is not a bad idea.
Well, and when you watch the game,
yes,
when you watch the two games, one looked much more fluid and much better than the other. Now,
Yes.
could have had a lot to do with the defense that you're playing against. Nebraska defense, as I went into great lengths through the week, is not good. And Utah's offense really exploited that. But I don't know on the Michigan side of things. But he did not look good at all. So maybe there is some conversations going on there. So the coaching thing at the University of Utah is one thing. And now we've got this open portal. Obviously, Smith Snowden is the biggest talent in the state that's jumped into the portal at this point. And so I've already kind of blocked him out on the Utah depth chart. But Scotty, I've gone through and I've put kind of my wish list on Utah players to stay. And I don't know how it's going to go, but let me just kind of go through it, all right? Wish list. There are 5 guys on my wish list offensively. I'll start with Devin Dampier. Have we seen him officially in the portal?
No, we have not.
Or Bird Ficklin?
No, Bird made the big announcement that had signed a contract and was staying. So now, granted, I don't know how much those contracts are enforceable. Yeah. That very well could change, yes.
Okay, so Devin Dampier is my number 1. I think you're going to be a little bit surprised by my number 2. Offensive wish list is J.J. Buchanan.
Oh, yeah.
And the reason is he's so young, and he was so good in that bowl game. And I saw Michigan's tight end jumped into the portal.
Yes.
Michigan had a tight end that jumped into the portal yesterday, and I'm like, oh, no. Because you hire Freddie Whittingham, and if Freddie Whittingham's sitting at a table and they're like, well, what are you thinking? Well, Dallin Bentley's headed off to the NFL or done with football. But if I could get that J.J. Buchanan kid, he fits what we do really well. So I would like to staple J.J. Buchanan to the table and make sure he stays in Salt Lake. Number 3 is Wayshawn Parker.
Mm-hmm.
And number 4 is Daniel Bray. Those are the youth movement wish list guys offensively. Bird Ficklin, as you mentioned, is under contract, and hopefully he is staying. Defensively, you guys, if they can keep some of these parts together defensively, they're going to be fine.
They'll be fine, yeah.
Now, here's just wish list defensively for the University of Utah. My number 1 target is Jackson Benny.
Yes.
He's my number 1 target. He's a sophomore. He'll have a couple years left. He put up 64 tackles and was spectacular. So Jackson Benny is my number 1. And I could go a lot of different directions with number 2, 3, 4, and 5. I want to make sure Cash Dillon stays because John Henry Daly's already gone. Mm-hmm. He's in the portal. He announced early, and it sounds like he's got plans, and he's on the move, and he's gone. So I need to keep Cash Dillon and Lance Holtzclaw. Did you see, watching the bowl game, who jumped?
Lance.
It was Lance.
Yes.
Holtzclaw went nuts. Now, he's got 1 more year, so I got to keep him in the drum and feather. The same with Dallas Vakalahi and Jonah Laie. Those 2 on the interior with Cash Dillon and Lance Holtzclaw.
You'd be just fine.
I've got my starting front.
Yep.
Linebackers, I got to keep John O'Hall. I got to keep Elijah Ellis, and I got to keep Trey Reynolds. If I can keep those 3 guys, I can make a good linebacking crew out of that. Defensively, I got to keep Elijah Davis, Jackson Benny, Teo Johnson, and remember, Nate Ritchie, Teo Johnson announced in the portal. So go to the portal, but I'm going to find a way to get you back out of the portal. Yeah. And Nate Ritchie only played 3 games.
Yes.
And in the 3 games, I think he was either tackle leader or next to tackle leader. So Nate Ritchie, I got to get Nate Ritchie back. If I get those guys back, defensive line, those 3 linebackers, and those 4 in the defensive backfield, I got to find my next Smith Snowden. I got to find my next Blake Cotton. I got to find my next guy. I can find something that patches that together in the portal. But if you see those names that I just gave you, if they jump in the portal and they're gone, now it's a bloody Monday.
Yes. Yeah.
Now we're in trouble.
So I think you look at it, and a lot of people talk about loyalty and, why not stay at the school that invested in you? Well, the school didn't invest in you. Well, financially they did, but it's relationships. And it's a system that you're comfortable with and not having to learn a new system and all that stuff that goes along with it. So if I'm Devin Dampier, if I'm J.J. Buchanan, and I'm seeing Jason Beck go to Michigan, that's hard to turn down because, number one, it's the coaches that you know. It's number two, it's the scheme. J.J. Buchanan, remember, tight ends were a lost cause at Utah until Freddie Whittingham showed up and Andy Ludwig essentially showed up and said, no, we can use the tight end. And then the tight ends have flourished. But if I'm J.J. Buchanan, you probably have somebody in your ear saying, hey, look, it took those guys to switch Utah to a tight end producing university, and they're gone. So who's to say you will get the same opportunities you had with this new offensive coaching staff? You're going to have to learn a whole new system, all that stuff. That's going to be very hard for a guy like J.J. Buchanan and Devin Dampier to turn down. On the flip side, though, the defensive guys, if I'm Morgan, I'm like, hey, guess what? Colton Swan, it's going to be somebody you know and somebody you love as a defensive coordinator. I'm still here. You're not going to have to learn a new system. You know exactly what I do. You know what's going to be expected of you.
Yeah.
So stay put. So the defensive guys, I think you have an advantage. The offensive guys are going to be a problem. If it's all about relationships and comfort in the system, now, granted, money may override everything. But if I'm a defensive player, I'm like, okay, I want to stay because I know how they're going to use me. I know the numbers I can produce. And I know guys go to the NFL from the University of Utah. That's not a problem. If I'm an offensive guy, I'm like, well, geez, the guy that made me look so good is now calling plays over at Michigan, and he wants me bad. So I could see, it's about relationships, and it's about usage and familiarity with the system.
Have you seen the Jonathan Smith rumor?
I did on Twitter, and that blew me away a little bit.
Have you seen that, Lloyd?
I have. Same. On the old Twitter.
Jonathan Smith, in terms of who Utah is and what they've been, smash mouth, run the football, Jonathan Smith checks a lot of boxes there. That's kind of what he likes to run.
He's been at Michigan State ever since Oregon State. Huh.
I don't hate that. If if that's an alternative, frankly, that fits the bill. You're not running. It's not like you're bringing in Nick Rolovich to run the run and shoot, which, by the way, I love Nick. And Nick's an awesome guy. But that's not a huge 180 from what you've been running. This is a pretty familiar system and a similar philosophy if you brought him in at OC. But again, I haven't heard that behind the scenes. I just saw that floating around on Twitter.
Yeah, and everybody's drawing the conclusions because Michigan State fired Jonathan Smith in November of 2025.
Yeah.
Got to get used to saying that now.
I know, right?
Fired him just in November 2025. Man, that's a name that is interesting to me.
I don't hate it. Don't hate it at all.
And I think with his experience, I think with his cachet, I think he could come in and save a lot of aspects of this. The biggest thing that I'm worried about for Utah next year is the offensive line situation.
Yeah.
You're losing Caleb Lomu. You're losing Spencer Fano, both to the draft. You're losing Tanoa Tagiai, Jaron Kump, and Michael Mokafisi. That was the crew. You want to see why Utah was a rushing leader? It's those guys. Why Utah didn't give up sacks? It's those guys. I mean, Devin Dampier was great, and Wayshawn Parker turned it on about Game 4, Game 5, got real hot. But that offensive line, that's tough to replace. And, if Jim Harding was there and you had this 5-man exit, I'd be like, oh, Jim's got it. But now that offensive line hire and this offensive coordinating hire, it becomes so critical because you got to get those 5 guys in place fast. And that's a tough sheet to fill.
Yeah. All right, 12:49, what you may have missed coming up. Gary Andersen will join us coming up in 15 minutes. You will also hear from Eric Weddle coming up at 2:05 right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Every moment of every show is available in podcast form by searching Hans and Scotty on your favorite podcasting platform or online at KSLSports.com. This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hey, hope you had a good New Year's Day. Hope you celebrated. You know, it's I don't know what your neighborhood's like. By the way, Parker Kingston announcing on Twitter he's coming back to BYU. One last ride. So there's a player you can cross off the board.
That's great. By the way, any current veteran players that know they're coming back, it's a really good thing. Just voice it.
Yes.
And put it out there and say, hey, I'm excited for 2026. A Ute for life, or a Cougar for life, or an Aggie for life. Just put it out there, because the more momentum and connectivity that you can get right now, the better.
Yeah.
And we don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I would have thought that Parker Kingston would return because he would be Bear Bachmeier's number one target next year. With Chase Roberts leaving, I would have thought, but it's nice because it's like, oh, hey, I'm coming back. So what does that signal to LJ Martin, who might be on the bubble to the NFL, or might be on the bubble to a portal, or might be on wherever he's at mentally? He's like, oh, my boy Parker's coming back. It'd be nice to get that kind of endorsement from Bear Bachmeier, or that kind of endorsement from Devin Dampierre. Like, I'm coming back. It would stabilize so much.
Yeah.
Because the portal just leaves us all with this nasty hole in our gut. Like, oh, this is unsettled times right now. And the more you can get these guys rolling out with their announcement, the better, I think.
Oh, 100%.
Now, I saw one guy, I don't know, one of the SEC schools, one guy put out this big release from his agent with the picture of him with his helmet, and it was like, and it said signed. And he'd been there for a couple of years. Signed. Re-signed a full-term agreement to return. Don't give me that crap. I don't want the official lingo, and you don't need to self-grandize. Just say you're coming back.
Yeah, just say, hey.
And you're going to run it back.
I'm really fired up. I believe in this coaching staff. I believe in the culture. I believe in everything we've done here. Unfinished business. Want to take it to a next step. Want to win that Big 12 championship game. Let's go. Or if you're at Utah, look, you know what? I am Team Morgan. I'm all about Morgan Scalley. It's more about the culture here at Utah and this fan base. Like, really just lean into it and say, I can't imagine myself playing in any other uniform.
Bird is still the word, Utah.
Geez. Oh, jeez.
Something like that.
Well, look, Bird is actually a pretty important part.
Yeah. You know what? Fine. Whatever.
If Dampierre leaves, I feel okay with Bird.
Yeah.
Because Bird is an absolute freak of an athlete.
A whole offseason of being the guy, you'll be all right.
I think he'd be okay, but I like seeing it. We currently have the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl going on between Texas State and Rice. It is a doozy.
Yeah, Texas State just scored 17-7 over Rice. Rice coming in with a record of 5-7. But because they're so nerdy, they got one of those spots in a bowl game because there were too many bowl games and not enough teams to fill it. So they're like, okay, who's got the best APR? Rice, guess what? You're in a bowl game. Congratulations.
You're good to eat and good at football. We got two Big 12 teams.
Fried rice, a little soy sauce with some fried egg in there.
Dude, I love fried rice, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
you know what I don't?
Ham fried rice.
Yeah. And you know what? Take your peas and carrots and get out.
Ooh, see, I'm a peas and carrots guy.
No, I'm not eating a salad with my rice. I just want I want my ham and I want my rice and that's it. An egg. Yeah.
That was the first thing I kind of learned to perfect on my Blackstone flat top was the fried rice. So good. Anyways, two Big 12 teams in action today. And actually kind of important games, in my opinion. Cincinnati against Navy in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Navy's 10-2. Navy's a good team, and it would be nice to see Cincinnati put that win out there over Navy. And then Arizona, SMU. SMU was an 8-win team after making it to the college football playoffs last year. They were an 8-win team this year, but who did they beat? Miami.
And look at Miami still hanging in there, now punching their ticket to the Final Four.
Yep. They beat Miami. This will be the third Big 12 team that SMU has played this year. They'd also played TCU and lost.
Yeah.
And Baylor and lost.
Wow.
Baylor and TCU both beat SMU in the preseason.
Hey, by the way, how much fun, and look, I'm not a huge fan of Indiana's coach, but I am a huge fan of Indiana, the program. Love that quarterback. I could listen to that quarterback read the phone book, and I'd be entertained. How much fun was it to see them just put it on Alabama? Not just beat Alabama, just physically manhandled Alabama.
It was great, man.
And I got to imagine, how happy were you? You know who the offensive MVP was in that game?
No.
The center.
Oh, I didn't see that.
They named the center the offensive MVP. Now, that's some good media out there because they always hand the ballot out to members of the media around probably around halftime, and they say, well, come by in the fourth quarter and pick it up.
They named Indiana's center?
Indiana's center was named the offensive MVP. And Pat Coogan, and to see Fernando Mendoza, when they announced it, everybody's on the podium, Mendoza lost his mind. He was so fired up for his center.
Oh, was he?
And they all come over and they hug him up. But, yeah.
He seems like a genuine kind of goofy kid, doesn't he?
Yes. The Rose Bowl offensive MVP, Pat Coogan. And to have media get all of a sudden, because I get those ballots and you're trying to call a game and you're really busy, and so you just look at a stat line. All right, this guy had the many touches. Okay, fine, give it to him.
Yeah.
But to be able to have a group of people say, hey, guess what? They were so dominant at the line of scrimmage.
That's awesome.
Who should get the award? Well, the leader of that offensive line, give it to the center.
Yeah, because you could have just handed it to your Heisman Trophy winner.
And been just fine.
Because he threw 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. It would have been really easy. Yeah. Yeah, he was 14 of 16 for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. And by the way, had 2 incredible rushes that sustained drives, that were critical rushes that sustained drives.
And next year, he'll be handing off to Ashton Genty in Las Vegas. Mendoza.
What?
Oh, Mendoza will be your number 1 pick. He's going to Vegas. He's going to be your quarterback for your Raiders next year.
Your Raiders.
How
do you feel about that?
How we feeling?
How do you feel?
How we feeling?
Hey, you're the one that's going to check out a Raiders-Chiefs game, so you're the fan.
I'm going to be there.
You're the real fan.
I'm going to be there on Sunday.
One of the worst seasons in Raiders history, but the lifelong Raider, is still going to be there.
You're not even going to see Pat Mahomes. That's how big of a Raiders fan you are. You don't even get to see that.
I'm not even seeing Gardner Minshew.
No, you're seeing a guy that I couldn't even pronounce his last name.
Yeah, but I'm going, and I am taking my shoulder pads with the spikes.
Nice.
That kind of fire out of it.
Yeah.
And
you better. I want to see pictures.
I'm taking my Madden signed skull and crossbones. Like I'm taking it all, dude.
Okay, now you're making me a little jealous.
I'm taking my Todd Christensen socks.
Oh, nice.
My game-worn gloves.
Your Jim Plunkett Huffy helmet.
I'm taking my Rich Gannon mouthpiece. And I'm going.
God, you're such a fan. I love it.
Because, you know what? I'm committed.
Yep.
You're committed to excellence. I love it.
I'm committed to taking Amanda to events.
His Vince Evans armbands. Let's go. All right, 104, Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Gary Andersen joins us next.
You're locked on to Hans Sultan and Scotty Chin.
That's right. Yeah!
On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Happy New Year's, everybody. Kicking off 2026. Hans, I'm not going to lie. September can't get here fast enough.
Oh. August can't.
Yes.
When do we kick off spring ball? August?
March, end of March, early April, around there.
Oh, what am I talking about? Fall camp.
Fall camp, yeah. End of July.
March can't get here fast enough.
Yes.
Give me spring ball. Give me anything.
I know.
Give me anything except for these long, drawn-out waits in between college football games now. Did you see some of the tweets I was sending out today?
Oh, yeah.
4 games in 44 days.
Yeah.
That's what it takes now. So if Indiana, from their final regular season game, if they go to win the championship, they will have played 4 games in 44 days. It's just too long.
Yeah. All right, joining us now, Gary Andersen. You know what, Coach? It is good to chat with you. Do you just look back and you look around all this craziness going on and just kind of laugh because you know, it takes you back to the day when you were in the middle of all this stuff?
I look back first and think how bad I miss you two. So that's first but yeah, it's it's a different world for sure, and I've learned that the last couple of years being with BYU and going through it, and the system is crazy. But I've always said, hey, if you can't adapt with the times and the changes, then you're in the wrong spot. And but it is, look at today. You're looking at the portal. You're looking at recruiting. You're looking at maintaining your own players. I mean, there's so much going on in one day, and it's like a signing day used to be a signing day, and everybody's happy. And now this is not really a signing day anymore. It's just kind of a, hold on and look out, take care of your own team, and then see what's out there to try to help yourself build, but yet get ready to develop the young men that are rolling back into the weight room here in a week or so.
Coach, Scotty and I have covered you for a lot of years. I go back to 2006, 2007 Utah coverage. Scotty's been covering it just as long, and we know how much you love the game, but I also know you love the family, and you should love some free time. But this game just hooked you, didn't it? And, the last couple of years, 11 and 12 wins, and that bowl performance, the comeback, and an incredible play. This game has just got you hook, line, and sinker, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, no doubt. I mean, I took the first year off and tried to convince myself that I was going to go be a great golfer and bought the good, expensive clubs and took the lessons. And I finally realized very quickly that I hated golf and golf hated me worse. So we had to move on to a new adventure. And football is it's next to my family. Obviously, it's the next thing. It's this point in my career. I wake up every morning and I get to help develop young men, and I get to help develop coaches grow and move forward in their careers. And been fortunate to be at BYU has been absolutely fantastic for me. And being with Kalani and the crew and so many of those guys that, TJ to Chad to A-Rod. A-Rod lived in my basement, hired Kalani when he was a GA from BYU, and A-Rod and Kalani come down to SUU with me. I mean, I can go on and on and on, but to be there every day and, just be part of it with a great group of young men, first of all, who are awesome to work with and develop and watch them grow, and then do the same thing with the coaches. So I'm blessed. I'm lucky to be in the spot I am. I'm proud to be part of BYU and help the football team and from A to Z.
Well, I think that when you look at your run as turning around Utah State, what you were able to do there at Utah, obviously, now at BYU, I mean, it's not necessarily about the logo. It's about the players. It's about the coaches. It's about being close to the game, and it's in your blood, man. You can't get rid of it.
No, exactly. I mean, and it was, anybody that knows me knows. I mean, I grew up with a Ute binky in my mouth. I mean, that's what it was. It was from day one. You were a Ute, and went there and played there. Never missed a basketball game from I don't know how old I was, football game ever, and so those transitions are always a little different as you go through it. But the Andersen household now, you wake up and there's BYU hats and sweatshirts and what have you going through for Christmas presents. So it's where you're at, and it's the kids that you're with, and quite frankly, I learned it's the university that you're at, and it's a lot of credit to the administration wanting to do it the right way, because I have no desire to be involved with administration that's in it for themselves or doesn't take care of the kids. And BYU does a great job. And there is no perfect school in the world, but BYU does a tremendous job of, just putting student athletes first and putting the kids in position to be that successful way past football when they walk out of BYU. At any student athlete, I'm assuming at BYU, if you walk out and you're not successful in your sport, whatever that means, to go play professionally or what have you, the next step out there for you is there's a lot of windows that open, a lot of doors that open up for you once you're a graduate student athlete at Brigham Young.
I'd love to hear you say that, Coach, because my BYU degree has served me really well. And, and you've seen my.
Were you in journalism? I'm sure you were. Yeah.
Oh man, Coach. Hey, so with that being said, Coach, do you have a pretty good grasp on what your future looks like and what you're doing?
Yeah, I'm staying.
Oh wow.
It's just, it's a great spot for me, and I'm excited to be here. And, you go through transition, you look at things, I tell all these coaches that are going through it, and even these kids that are going through it, I guess you got to, when you go through an opportunity to have decisions to make, whether it's a young man or a coach or whatever it is, I always challenge them to look back and say, okay, it's all different, man. You just won a bowl game. Football's out there. It's on TV. Everybody's all excited about football. Just fast forward to whatever, the middle of February, and it's a Wednesday morning, and you're going to wake up, and you're going to go to work. You're going to wake up, go to the weight room, go to school. Are you happy where you're at? And I'm 100% happy where I am. I don't want to do more. I want to be an analyst. I want to help coaches grow. I want to help kids grow. And I want to be the best grandpa in the country. So those are my three goals. That's and awesome. I get to do all three of those with what I'm doing right now at BYU, and being with Kalani and help him continue to grow and sustain, and go through this transformation with Jay right now. The transformation is it is what it is. Jay found an opportunity. He went off that opportunity. I think we all support him and are very happy for him and happy for Kyle and everybody involved. But now you look back, and we have a very, very sound foundation defensively, and the way we've grown over the last 2 or 3 years and built the scheme. Those guys have been in that room with us, and it's a lot. We've grown. We've grown from a 4-down front to a 3-down front, and it's really grown into a lot of what we were doing when I was with Kalani at Oregon State and with Dave Aranda for all those years. We're doing a lot of those things, but we've mixed the core of all of us together, and I think it's a special group. So there's a lot of guys who have called a lot of defensive games in that room. We're going to be in a great spot, and the adjustments that ultimately the Kalani decides to make on the staff and get those titles done will be done here real quickly, and we'll start rolling and going and get a guy ready to get out there and knock the socks off it when he calls plays next year.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
You gave me the chills.
I remember the first conversation I had with you, interviewing you or being part of a media scrum. It was in that 04 preparation for Pitt, and Urban was on his way to Florida. Kyle was debating whether or not he was going to take the Utah or BYU job, and you were running practices. Because everybody was kind of working on their own thing, and you said, hey, look, it's not about us. It's about the players. We just got to get their minds right. They'll be okay. What is the message to players when there's a little bit of uncertainty in terms of coaches and transition and things like that, when they deep down want to stay and they want to be a part of the program? What do you say to these guys?
Well, it's communication for me, today's day and age, right? I think it's and it's not communication over text messages. It's actually having real conversations face to face as much as you can, and then at least on the phone and not going back and forth. It's just, and then being honest, because each young man, it's hard now. Scotty and Hans, it's really hard. You sit back, you say, okay, now all of a sudden these roster sizes are going to 105, right? And so you can't carry the same amount of kids as you have before. And quite frankly, that breaks all of our hearts as coaches. We would love to have those rosters be 125 deep or whatever they could be, but that's not feasible in today's day and age. And so what we do is we look at it, we try to have real conversations. Some of them are not real fun to have, some of them are great to have, and some of them are educational. But at the end of the day, you look at it and what are the positives of where you are and the school that you're at and the situation that you have got yourself in, and what does your future look like? So, honesty and communication are the keys, and, trying to keep your key players is putting in a position where they understand what the scheme is. And, we've got some really, really talented players on that BYU defense that we need to have come back in the program. And I think this is probably one of the top two most important things also, besides that communication piece and the honesty, is that what has been the success rate of the young men when they leave, and they were really good players at whatever school they're at, what's the success rate of them going to the next school and being successful? That's what you have to ask yourself. And especially when you know the scheme, you know the situation, you know you're going to be a playmaker, you know you've got good coaches, you know you got a school that cares about you. Is it really worth leaving for a little bit more money? And I think once kids take a real look at that, honestly, they look at it most of the times and stay.
Man. For me, Coach, it would certainly be about the relationships. And Scotty and I had to do an emergency podcast yesterday because all the news was coming down. And I said, if I would have left the college game and started coaching with Lavelle Edwards, and Lavelle said to me, hey, it's on. We're staying, or we're going, or we're going to do this. I would have done anything for him as a player, and anything for him as if I was assistant coach. It just feels like in this game, it feels like those relationships, sometimes they get overlooked. Sometimes they're managed well, but I know that those relationships have been primary to you in your life as a coach.
Yeah, it's a priority to me. It's number one is the kids in the program without a doubt. And I think Kalani does such a great job with his culture. Every coach has a culture and an idea and ideology of what they want to be and how they want to go about it. But I think I always try to create an atmosphere that was of toughness and grit, and we're going to take care of you in good and bad, and we're going to try to develop you on the field, off the field. We're going to try to develop you emotionally to continue to grow as a young man, and all those things that come with it. I think Kalani does a great job as he's adapted to the times of kids. And that would have been really, really hard for me as a head coach, quite honestly. Even today, it would be really, really hard for me as a head coach to go and just the little tweaks that are there. When I say that, nothing of that is bad. It's just a different environment that kids are in every single day, and the way they're twisted and turned, and the academics and the portal and the dollars and people tugging at them and agents, and I can go on and on and on. But Kalani's environment and culture is still about family, and he says that all the time. But just walk around the facility and you'll know that. You'll feel that, and that really helps to sustain. And I know that because I pride myself on walking through the locker room 2 times every single day and spend at least 5 to 10 minutes in there. And you get to know a team really quick. And it's Kalani's culture that he's been able to the support. Nobody runs and hides. Everybody's working hard and grinding through it, and there's a high level of accountability, but yet it's a fun place to be. So I think that's unique in college football. I'm not at every program in the country, but my belief is that's a little unique, and that's why BYU is a special place for kids to stay and play.
You're on the defensive side of the ball. You appreciate all those things you talked about, grit, fire, playing through pressure, playing through pain. Was there a moment in fall camp where you saw Bear Bachmeier and thought, "Oh, this kid can get it done. He's not looking like a true freshman out there."
Oh man, don't you love that kid?
Yeah.
Well, he's
so
a Gary Andersen prototype, man. Tough dude.
He's something else. And again, I talk about it. Humble. I mean, that's unbelievable. But, I think during camp it was just A-Rod does such a great job, and so did Matt, of building the quarterbacks and bringing those guys along. But you could see the ability to throw the football. You could see some of the intangibles that you look for a kid that can run. But what you didn't know is how much he really liked to run. I remember when he first said, I asked him why he wore 47. He said, because, Coach, you know what? When I'm back there throwing the ball and I'm in the pocket, I'm a quarterback. But as soon as I cross the line of scrimmage, I'm a fullback. And I was like, oh, really? Okay, well, we'll see. Well, he showed us all. So he showed us all that. But then his ability to be able to pick up, A-Rod, it's a complex offense now. I sit there and listen to those play calls up in the box during the games, and A-Rod obviously does a tremendous job of calling the plays and game planning with his staff and all the things that come with it. But there's a lot that's on a quarterback's plate. For a true freshman to handle all that, I don't know how much of the playbook was there, but I don't think A-Rod held anything back for a freshman to come in and do that and then have the ability to come back so many times. I mean, what was it, 10 points down last game, 10 points down in Arizona in the fourth quarter, 14 points down to Colorado, 14 points down, whoever it was. I mean, it was time and time again. Now, that's the team structure and the belief of all of them to come back. But your quarterback, you got to be able to look at that dude and say, hey, we're good. If we just get a stop on defense right now, this offense is going to win the game for us. And that is such a confidence builder when you're in those tight games like that. And we had a bunch of those tight games. So love the kid for who he is on the field and off the field. And a tremendous family also. So we're very lucky to have Bear.
A tremendous family, very supportive family, and they roll deep. And it's great to have that Bachmeier family around with kind of all their history and what they're able to do. Coach, I wanted to kind of specify, because I think a lot of BYU fans are out there and they see Gary Andersen, senior defensive analyst, and they don't understand maybe the impact that you can have on the program. As a senior analyst, just kind of tell people what you are responsible for and help them understand just what you've been able to do over the last 3 years with Jay and working with these coaches, because every time I come out to practice, I see you working your butt off out on the field.
Yeah. Yeah, well, right now it's really grown into what you're another coach. You can be another coach. I mean, I had the great opportunity to have Bodie with me this year in my room, and Kendall and Keeney and Vil. That was the core of my room, and Sonny was in there, and so you were able to get so much more done from film study, and that I spent time obviously with Sione with those defensive tackles in a room together, and when we tie into what we call them the bowls, which is the guys in my room and Sione's room together. So we're just coaching like it's like there's more than 10 full-time coaches now, which is basically what it is. As far as the game planning, obviously I was right there with Jay, and I were on the same page. And it was it started 3 or 4 years ago at Weber when I helped him 1 year down there. We just continued to grow and develop it. And I'm going to miss that. I'm going to miss Jay and I were very, very close and very, very tight. And, you look at going to another place, and Jay and I look and we talk about things, and, could it be here? Could it be at Michigan? That's just not feasible for myself right now. And where I am in life, but he'll do great things. But we had a great game plan together, and Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday with the rest of the staff, and then getting into the game. And that will change a little bit now, but now it's going to be the next D coordinator up, or the next D coordinators up, however that wants to work with through Kalani, what he wants to be able to get done. But I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to get him ready to walk into games and be prepared to call a great game. I'm looking forward to coaching the kids on the defense again. I think this year I'll be a little bit more around the defense as a whole, as we've talked with Kalani, and I've talked some things out and where we can be, and then whatever Kalani needs me to do, I can do some more stuff with Kalani this year as we move through time. But those things will all come out in the mix. But I get to be a football coach, and that's a great point in my life right now. I don't, like I told you, I want to help kids and I want to help coaches grow, and that's exactly what the analyst tag gives me the ability to do every single day, and help BYU football grow.
How cool is it, though, from a personal standpoint, knowing that Kalani Sitake was making ends meet, stocking shelves at Walmart while trying to help you at Southern Utah? Jay Hill gets an opportunity with you at Southern Utah, and to see these guys progress in their profession and doing what they're doing now. I mean, for a moment, you got to sit back and be like, it's almost like a proud father moment for you, I'm sure.
There's no doubt. I talk about that all the time. The ability to see all these guys that we've touched and gave opportunities to over the years, and watch them grow and develop. And I mean, it's crazy. It makes me feel old, which I suppose I am. But we keep our youthfulness. I remember not this last year, the BYU Utah game, but the one the year before, and we went on that last crazy second game that goes down to the wire and the kick goes through, and I just kind of look back at the whole sidelines, both sidelines, Utah's and BYU sidelines, and I called Kyle. Obviously, it wasn't the next day; it was a few days later after that game. And I said, "Man, I know it. The wins and the losses, they're gut wrenching. We've been on both sides of the thing for however many years, 20 plus years or whatever it's been, in those games. But I sat back and I looked at both sidelines pregame, and I was like, Kyle, you know how many of those guys that we gave opportunities to, or they grew up through our system, and we should be very, very proud of that, let alone, again, the wins and the losses. And so, yeah, I'm very prideful. I know Kyle's very prideful of all those things that come with it, but to be in that spot at this time in my career and still be able to help young coaches grow, help those older coaches continue through any questions or any way I can possibly help them, without an agenda. My agenda is not to go be a head coach. My agenda is not to be a coordinator. My agenda is my agenda, and that's what I've said 5 times on this call: help kids, help coaches. And so it's an amazing spot to be for me, and something I look forward to doing for many years.
Well, and it's an amazing spot for Kalani to have you there with just all your experience. We do have one problem, Coach, and that is Kyle Whittingham. Kyle Whittingham leaves for Michigan. He takes a lot of Utah personnel, and those guys know that Utah is a hotbed for recruiting. So what do we got to do to stabilize this state and make sure Michigan doesn't come sneaking in along with everybody else that knows now that this talent is great? Because, Coach, this state is a hotbed for some of the best football talent in the country.
Cat's out of the bag now.
The cat's out of the bag, and they're taking that knowledge with them.
Yeah, well, maybe we should blame Utah for pissing Kyle off. I don't know.
There you go.
I don't know.
It would have never happened.
So it might not have happened. He might have just gone over and, played a little tennis or pickleball and rode his motorcycle and skied. But I texted him yesterday and I told him, I can't wait till you go. They go tell you, hey, let's go skiing today, and you're going to go see that molehill out there in the middle of Michigan. It's not even a bunny hill here. So have fun with that.
Take you out to Lake Huron.
Yeah. But no, without a doubt. I mean, there's some opportunities out there. And Utah's there's great high school coaches here. Just watch it. I mean, the high school programs have gotten better and better and better. The off-season training programs are better. So there's going to be high-level kids that are out there playing. There's some great athletes. So you got to continually fight through it. You got to, I really don't believe this. I don't think Michigan's going to walk in here and take 3 or 4 kids a year from the state of Utah. I don't think that they need to. I think they need to stay in their own state, in their own area. And, I thought that when I was at Wisconsin, I was like, we're going to come in and take, 5 or 6 kids a year. But we kind of had the same kids in our own backyard because there's really good high school football at Wisconsin too. So sure, there'll probably be some fights every year, just like there is and I'm sure it's going to be the same guys. It might be Wisconsin. It might be Michigan now, and it'll probably be Oregon and Utah and BYU and whoever else wants to get in that fight. Right? That's just the way it is. So BYU is well equipped to get into those recruiting fights and battles and show kids what the school is. And it's not just about the dollar figure. It's about an education. It's about the culture, the family you're in, and I think that they'll always be in the hunt to land those elite recruits and then continue to grab kids that are in that developmental stage that we can grow and get them on the field.
Well, Coach, I know that you're all about BYU, you're all about Provo, but we can still grab breakfast at Herm's every now and then up in Cache Valley.
Hey, I'm in Cache Valley right now, brother. There we go. I'm up here, Scotty. Whenever you need me, I'm right here sitting on the hill. You know where my house is.
Oh, yeah.
Coach, I'll tell you what, man, that definitely eases a lot of my concerns. I'm sure BYU fans are feeling a good sigh of relief, and it's just nice. I mean, I've told everybody this program's in good hands under Kalani Sitake. And I said, with Kalani Sitake, you've got a lot of great decisions being made, and you've got great relationships with you and some of these other great coaches. And so it's exciting. Let's get ourselves to spring ball. Let's go. I mean, I don't even care who wins the national championship. I just want to get 2026 going.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we could use a couple minutes in the weight room, so give us some time. Let us feed these guys some nice, good steaks and get them in there with those trainings and get them rolling, and then we'll hop out on that field in a little bit and get it going, get it rolling. But it'll be good. It's an exciting time for the state. It's an exciting time, right? So let's go get it, and away we go. Football's loud and proud in the state of Utah right now, and BYU.
Love it. Appreciate it, Coach.
Thanks,
Talk
Coach.
to you soon.
Okay, guys, all the best. Take care.
There he is, Gary Andersen. I could talk to him all day.
Yeah,
honestly, I'm not going to lie.
I honestly didn't know that he was going to mention that he'd be back with BYU. So that is a really nice thing to know.
So I don't know if you have the bite yet, Lloyd, do you? So you asked him the question about Kyle coming in and recruiting him, and his response was?
Yeah, well, maybe we should blame Utah for pissing Kyle off. I don't know.
There you go. Well, honestly, if Kyle doesn't leave, none of this is happening.
No.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, everybody's locked and loaded. Jay Hill still at BYU. The staff, Jason Beck's probably still at Utah.
Right?
Yeah. I would think so.
But then it's like, all right, well, it took a Michigan coach doing something really dumb too. There was some things.
A lot of dominoes that fell here.
Because I honestly think that there were probably 5 schools Kyle Whittingham would have answered the call for.
Yeah.
When he said, I'm in the transfer portal, I'll take the call. Well, it depends on who the call is from. I think there's probably 5 schools.
No.
And the fact that one was having the problems that they were having in that moment is just insane coincidence.
Yeah.
And, when Kyle gets ticked, he's looking for revenge. You know, he's going to go out and he's going to win, do everything he can to win at Michigan.
So I was thinking about this the other day. I was actually going to call Jerry Bovee about this, but Jerry's the athletic director at Weber State. He hires John L. Smith back to the state to take over at Weber State. Well, guess what happens? Bobby Petrino ends up on a motorcycle with his mistress, crashes it coming around the corner, gets fired, and they hire John L. Smith to be the coach, the interim coach for that year. So he loses John L. So where does he go? Jay Hill. Like these dominoes just are crazy with how they can fall and what they can do for people and do to people for sure. All right, Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Take a break, come back, and we'll get a little good, bad, the ugly. Coming up at 2:05, we'll chat with one of our favorite people on the planet, Eric Weddle. It's all right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
It's time to saddle up and talk about the winners and the losers. This is the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, here's the good.
It is your good, it is your bad, it is your ugly, all brought to you by RGS Exteriors. Hans, there's only been one team that has bucked the trend of winning a game after getting a first-round bye, and that has been Indiana. And credit to them because that first-round bye has been a death sentence for teams over the last, the first 2 years of this college football playoff. And but Indiana just wrecks Alabama. But, you know, you look across the board, Hans, and it's just pretty crazy to see exactly how this thing is playing out in terms of bowl games and how teams are performing. Oregon will take on Indiana after they win, but Miami beats Ole Miss. Miami will play Ole Miss. Miami got the win. It was Ole Miss getting the win against Georgia. Oregon wrecks Texas Tech 23-0.
That was terrible.
And by the way, thanks for that offensive showing up, Texas Tech, because Texas Tech's defense was really good for the majority of that game, but just got nothing from their offense. And then, as we mentioned, Indiana just blows right through Alabama 38-3. You look across the board, so many good games, though, and just a blast to watch Miami go to the beat Ohio State. Just some good stuff. And the SEC is just getting worked.
Yeah, they're getting worked. I don't have a dog in the fight. Obviously, I don't have a dog in the fight. Indiana's good. And right now, Indiana's the lead dog. I think that Indiana's probably going to win it. But who would you like to see? I'll give you my thought, but who would you like to see win it?
Well,
because I want Ole Miss to win this thing.
I do too, just because it's a middle finger to Lane Kiffin.
Yes.
And
a guy that just bolted on his team.
And that's my second storyline. I like the Indiana. The number 2 is Ole Miss.
And they've got a Division II quarterback out there just making all kinds of plays for him. You got a coach who got the job a few weeks ago. Like, there's so many great storylines with Ole Miss as a team.
There's a lot of great storylines there. To Lloyd's point with Indiana, do you know that was the first postseason win for Indiana since the 1990s?
Jeez.
Is that true?
Well, if you remember back, their football program was so bad. Remember when ESPN used to do the bottom 5?
Oh, they still do. Yeah. Indiana was a fixture there.
Always in the bottom 5. That's how bad they were.
Who was the quarterback that was that kind of the dual threat guy, kind of like Slash 2.0 that didn't he play for the Steelers too, but he played at Indiana. They played a game here in Salt Lake City, and I forget the name of that dual threat quarterback that played a while in the league, but that's about the only guy that's really done anything out of Indiana.
Listen to this. Outside of the January 1st, 2026 win, beating Alabama 38-3 in the Rose Bowl, it was the first bowl win since 1991.
Oh, jeez. Wow.
Antoine Randall L.
Thank you.
Since 1991. That what? Who and what? Who's this guy? And I know that they've given this man ownership of the university.
Oh, yeah. But if there's a coach right now, I always said Nick Saban was worth everything that Alabama was paying him. Like they were underpaying Nick Saban for the value he brought to Alabama. Well, guess what? Signetti, who's making, $9 million, nearly $10 million a year, is getting underpaid by Indiana for the amount of exposure and success that he's brought to that football program. Dude's getting underpaid.
Probably can't hit the number for him. First postseason win since 1991. Is that one of the most shocking
Unbelievable.
things?
And the thing is, there's not a lot of bowl opportunities. Like, it'd be interesting to see the amount of bowl games they played in that stretch. Probably maybe 3 or 4 tops, because they were never bowl eligible because they were so bad.
Give me Ole Miss first, though. That's my first storyline.
Yeah.
I just think it would be so beautiful. And they're not going to win it.
They're about to lose a lot of assistants, too, because they're about to go join LSU, apparently, too.
As far as the college football playoffs, I think that's the best game I've seen.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
In the 2 years that we've now had a 12-team system.
How bad was that face mask?
Yeah, there were a couple bad misses.
That nearly cost them the game.
But that face mask nearly ripped the helmet off the dude's head. And all of us saw it on TV.
Oh, yeah.
And when they didn't throw the flag, I thought, oh, it's one of those ones where they catch the front part of the jersey and it pulls the head down. You see the replay, and it's fingers in the iron. And that was a big moment.
Yes. As Lloyd mentioned, it almost cost him the game, Ole Miss.
Was that the Big 12 staff?
I don't know. But that does seem like I think it was actually the old Pac-12 staff that they brought out of retirement to officiate that.
No, it wasn't, because there was a Big 12. I don't remember which game it was.
Was
it
it
one
Indiana,
of the games
Alabama,
yesterday.
maybe? Yeah.
It might have been that one.
But it was not Ole Miss, Georgia.
No.
That was a horrible miss.
By the way, another BYU player announcing that they're coming back.
Well, that one's a big one.
Yeah.
That one's a big one. Nusi Taumaipeau is the future of BYU, and Nusi was the reason BYU was able to get the win in the Pop-Tarts Bowl.
Yes.
Because Jack Kelly went out, and that was a kind of late week scratch, maybe even a game day scratch, taking Jack Kelly out of that game. And Kalani said in the post game, he's like, he could have gone, but we just felt like for his future, it's best he didn't. So the coaches came up with a system of Nusi Taumaipeau and Isaiah Glasker in a hybrid combo working the outside backers, and Nusi was awesome. Man, he was so good. Defensive player of the game, in my opinion. And having him announce, as a true freshman, announce he's coming back, hopefully that inspires some of the other youth. I'm hoping that inspires a Faletau Satawala. I'm hoping that, and you've already seen Raider Demooney, he's pumping up people. Therian Alexander's pumping up people. So there are some BYU defenders that are getting excited about returning, and that's nice. Now you've got Nusi being noisy, Therian Alexander being noisy, Raider Demooney has been noisy. If they can keep Faletau and Glasker, that you've already heard Tonavasa, he said in our postgame, he said, my plan is to come back. You could have a pretty full staff coming back.
Yeah.
A pretty full roster coming back.
Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Coming up next, another edition of Whole World News. And then Eric Weddle will join us at 2:05 right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This is Whole World News on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
We've got the whole world in our hands.
You got the whole world in our hands. We've got the whole world in our hands. We've got the whole world in our hands. We've got the whole world in our hands. You've got you and me, brother, in our hands. You've got you and me, sister, in our hands.
Eric Weddle's going to join us coming up in about 13 minutes from right now. So gather around the radio. It's going to be a lot of fun. It is time for Whole World News. And, a lot of us have New Year's resolutions. Some of it is to fix our financial situations where they may be. And I'm going to take you to Kentucky, Hans. Normally we kind of pick on Florida, but now that you're a honorary Florida resident now, yes. I gotta lay off the Florida stories because I don't want to get you after your state. We're going to go to Monticello, Florida, or Kentucky, excuse me. He was arrested with a burglary at a laundromat called the Wash House. His name's Jacob Coffey. So if you're going into a laundromat what are you stealing? Like a washer, dryer? No, he went right to the coin machine and ripped it out of the wall and threw it in the back of his truck and took off. There were multiple witnesses there that saw him do this. In fact, police say they've received tips and firsthand witness accounts from 12 people that were there watching him rip the coin machine out of the wall, throw it in the back of his truck. He was easily recognizable, and he had his license plate on the back of his truck. And so everybody knew who he was, what he looked like, and had the license plate of his vehicle. At that point, you want to lay low, right? You're like, okay, well, a lot of people saw me, but I do have a bunch of coins.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to lay low for a little bit, and I'm going to be all right. Well, 2 hours later.
2 hours?
2 hours later, he was seen at a local Walmart exchanging the coins for cash at a Coinstar machine.
What, where you dump the
coins and they sort it out? Yeah.
It takes like 22% of your money.
I know, but hey, look, the dude was in a hurry, man, because he was finally arrested nearby the Walmart at a Little Caesars drive-thru where he was paying with pizza with quarters. And that's what got him.
Oh, put him down for stupidest criminals all time. Hey, if you get your hands on that kind of coinage, though, you want to get out there. You're burning a hole in your pocket. You want to get out there and start living some life.
Now, back in the day, had we, 14, 15-year-old Hans and Scotty got that, we would have been down at the Galleria. What was it, 47th? What was that place?
49th Street
49th Street Galleria. And just dumping
yes.
dumping coins into the Mortal Kombat game.
Hitting the old batting cage.
For me, it was Keystone Pizza in Little Weezer.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Keystone Pizza. We had a little arcade. And honestly, my favorite pastime was standing there watching people that had the quarters play the games.
Oh, you were just an observer, huh?
Yeah, I was an observer. And when I would get my chubby little fingers on a quarter and I'd throw it in there, I'd be dead in 5 seconds. I was so bad at video games. And I was like, geez, I got to find another quarter. And you almost get
you get hooked.
Neurotic about it. Like, I what do I got to do? I mean, I got to find a purse and get that quarter out of that purse. That was my mom.
If somebody leaves their purse lying around. See, we had an old school Pizza Hut, the dine-in Pizza Hut in Burley.
Yeah,
and it's still there, by the way.
Did it have the salad bar?
It had the salad. It's still there.
I love the old school Pizza Huts.
One of the very few sit-down Pizza Huts still available in the United States.
With the flat-screen video game.
The red cups, and that's exactly right. The flat-screen video
Madness
games.
was all about Pizza Hut.
And you'd sit there and slide the little rolling ball on the top of it to move your guy around. Awesome. I would, and in fact, my wife for my birthday a few years ago gave me a bunch of those red cups from pizza. She found them online. And I will drink soda out of those, and it just takes me right back.
It does. It does. It's very nostalgic to those places.
Yeah.
But this guy needs to go away.
For a long time. Not because of what he did, but because of how stupid he is.
Because he's just dumb.
Yeah.
And that brazen. If you are that brazen, you are a criminal at heart. You are a lifetime career criminal.
It's what we call in the business a repeat offender.
Yes. Oh, that's a good poll.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
Is that Cool Hand Luke?
No, that's Raising Arizona.
Oh, that's right. Okay. That's both amazing. I know. He threw a little bit of an accent on it, and I thought it was the warden from Cool Hand Luke.
Sorry.
What we have here
is a repeat offender.
I made Rock watch that movie. Cool Hand Luke.
I bet he liked that.
Well, we got done with it. He was like, what was the meaning of that movie? Like, it's actually a bit depressing.
Oh, yeah.
You take this strong-willed individual and you just keep beating him down and beating him down. And I told him, I said, strong wills never break. Like, people that are gritty, people that have an undying belief in themselves, they never die. And he was like, oh.
Andy Dufresne.
It didn't. Andy Dufresne. It didn't get to him like because Cool Hand Luke, I watched it when I was 13 or 14. It changed my life.
Really?
Oh yeah. I was like, I will from now on, I will be the hard-headed criminal, and nobody can change me.
Well, I mean, outside of the criminal part, it's pretty spot on.
Well, you know what's funny is you referencing the coins. Remember how that movie starts? He's cutting the heads off parking meters.
Yeah.
And dumping the coins out of parking meters. That's how Cool Hand Luke starts. Great movie if you haven't seen it.
By the way, speaking of great movies, I need a ruling from the two of you. Maybe not from Lloyd, because we know what Lloyd, the kind of language he teaches his kids.
Yeah.
But
it's sad and true.
I'm just joking, Lloyd. But I did. My 14-year-old was talking about, hey, why everybody's talking about Die Hard as a Christmas movie, and so me and my son, I said, all right, come on, I'm gonna show you. And so we watched Die Hard.
Yes.
Ooh, wait, how old's bro?
He's 14.
Vid Angels?
No, I'm not giving. I'm not giving that.
You cannot do Vid Angels
I'm not
for
giving
Die
that.
Hard.
I'm not giving that crap service a penny of my money.
Well, all I know is walking around my 7th grade playground, the only thing you could hear in the Weezer playground was yippee-ki-yay!
You did the right thing. You did the right thing.
I think it's a rite of passage, right?
Yeah, he's there.
And then we watched Predator, and then we watched Die Hard 2. But this was the great moment. This is when I knew I scored as a dad, because my kid has a phone, unfortunately, and I wish he didn't have one, but he's got one. And when we're watching TV, even when we're watching the Broncos play, he's always on his phone, like looking, and he does a great job of being able to watch two things at once. But when Predator and Die Hard, when he was watching both those, that phone was as far away from him as possible, and he was like locked in, like a tractor beam. And I'm like, see, that's what a good movie is.
That's what a good movie is.
They don't make those movies anymore.
That's what a good movie is. And you just hope it stops there, you know? He just stops with the great old action films.
Pandora's box may have been opened a little bit.
Start saying, well, what's Red Shoe?
Oh, okay, all right. Hans and Scotty.
It's our childhood, man.
It is our childhood.
It's our childhood.
I mean, when
I know.
When the X-Files came on, everybody's like, who's this guy? There's a lot of 15-year-olds like, I know who that guy is.
Who's this Emmanuel?
Oh, that's Daniel Duchovny.
2 o'clock. Eric Weddle next, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Looking for the latest on the Jazz, Utes, Cougars, and Aggies? Yeah. We've got you covered. This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G on 97.5, the Sports Zone.
Hans Olsen, Scott Gerard, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. The great Eric Weddle will be joining us here momentarily.
Did you see the numbers that ESPN just released?
On bowl game viewers? Yeah, I just saw that.
Most watched bowl games on ESPN networks, non-CFP bowls on ESPN networks, are up 13% year over year.
But yes, the bowl games are dying.
Yeah, up 13%. Can you believe that? Year over year. We're all hungry for it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And the Pop-Tarts Bowl was spectacular. And the Vegas Bowl was good.
Mm-hmm.
The Pop-Tarts Bowl checks in at 8.7 million viewers.
Number one, again, that's the second year in a row BYU's had the highest rated non-college football playoff game.
Yep.
Last year, and last year we were, well, it's BYU for sure, but also the Dion factor played into it. This year, Georgia Tech. I mean, come on, BYU pulled a big number, and I think the allure of the weird Pop-Tart Bowl thing, and the weirdness about that game also played into it too, because that thing was just blowing up on social media.
It was 8.7 million viewers, and you didn't have Neon Deion Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes.
And wasn't last year like 8.1? Didn't this do better than that Colorado game?
It was 8.1 or 8.5, somewhere in there. Yeah, this bettered that. Yeah.
All right, joining us now, one of our favorite people on the planet and one of the best players to ever play football in the NFL, not only just here in the state of Utah. It's Eric Weddle, kind enough to join us. Eric, how are you?
Hello, Mr. Weddle.
What's up, my guys? Happy holidays. Happy New Year. 2026 is going to be the best one yet for all of us, especially for our alma maters.
Yes, let's go. I love the energy. How good was it to see Morgan Scalley dominate the Vegas Bowl?
Oh my gosh. To be there in person and to be able to, go the day before and be able to see the players and the coaches and, change is inevitable, and change is good if you're willing to accept it and to be all in. And there's so many different instances why change happens, and it was good for, just to tell everyone I love them, and to what a great job, man. 11 wins is something to be really proud of, especially for our university and our history. And then to be able to get some one-on-one time with Morgs and pick him up, he was, he wears his emotions on his sleeve, like everyone knows, and he is so passionate and loves our university. And it was great for me to just sit one-on-one with him for a good 30, 40 minutes and just listen and be there for him, and bounce some ideas and opinions off of him and let him know I love him and I'm here for him no matter what. And there are a lot of people that have his back, and we just got to support him and be there for him.
And that's the thing that I'm just so fired up for, is to see him, because we've known him for 20 years. You've known him for a lot longer, but as a teammate. But I've covered him as a player and as a coach for so many years at the University of Utah. And to see him roaming the sidelines, it was just, it was just cool as hell. I'm just not going to lie. It was really fun to see him with the headset doing his thing and getting that moment on a big stage and being able to showcase what he can do, and to see the team respond to him, because you were part of that 04 team where, Urban leaves and you still have a bowl game to play and you put it on Pitt. And so you know what it's like to have some distractions, but also know what it's like to dial in and still take care of business.
Exactly. It just shows the culture and the importance and identity of what we're about. And it's even more so with the landscape of college football right now, to hold strong on our values and our principles and who we are, right? Who we are as men, who we are as leaders. And literally there's no better man to lead our program for the next 20 plus years. I'm serious. I think it's going to be Pittsburgh Steelers 2.0 for the Utes, and I know I'm brash, and I only hope for that for our university, because that's the great leadership we've had over the course of 40 plus years with Coach Meyer had a 2-year stint, but Coach McBride, Coach Witt, and now Morgan. It's awesome for the stability of our university, and to have a moment like this that he could share with the players, the seniors, the people that, to navigate this transition, to have his little moment. And now, he's got a lot of work to do, but no better man to navigate this and to continue the success of our university.
Eric, I love having you on in this moment, because, Morgan has got a lot of work in front of him with some of these hires, and you had an opportunity to see Kyle Whittingham take that program from Urban Meyer, and Scotty and I were just talking about it. It was basically Kyle Whittingham and Gary Andersen, and that was it. And Kyle Whittingham had to start his legacy in that moment. Talk about kind of some of the strategic moves that Kyle made with the hiring, and what you remember was impactful to really kick things off and send this Utah program into the stratosphere.
Well, honestly, it's a blessing in disguise, right? Like, as a coach, and I know I'm just a high school coach, a head high school coach, and I just know when you're taking a program over, you're first, it's much different in the college with the retention of players and the portal and all this other crap that you got to deal with that just is unnecessary with the timeline. If they could just change the timeline of it all, it would relieve a lot of obstacles that present itself. But you have your chance to do and mold your program with the identity and vision of what you want to do, right? And yeah, did we expect the turnover with Coach Witt going to Michigan? Like, it's crazy to think, like, if Coach Witt didn't come out of retirement after a day, Morgan would have a whole staff, none of these issues. But this is where we're at, right? And so the whole offensive staff leaves outside of Mark, and I love Mark for staying put. And, man, he's going to go a long ways in Utah lure of sticking with us. And then, a big loss, obviously, with Lewis Powell. I think out of everyone, that's going to be the hardest guy to replace. I know him, obviously, personally. He was a teammate, and the job he's done on the field, and probably more off, the impact he has on players and our university. So that's going to be a tough one. But at the end of the day, like, how are you going to fault someone for making the decision that what he feels best for him and his family. Like, I understand it probably better than most of just living that life for 14 years of the turnover, the cuts, the trades, the contract extensions, the free agency, the coaches getting fired year in and year out or moving. That is the way of the land, and it stinks. But what holds true is where your allegiance lies, and it's not with any player or coach. Unfortunately, the days of a player staying for 4 years and loving that player are long gone. So it's the university, and you stick by the university, whether it's Coach Meyer, Coach McBride, Coach Fossil back in the day, Coach Witt, or now Morgan, right? Like, you support the program, you give it all to the program, and you just hope that the product is something to be proud of. And I can promise you that the players that will walk out on the field in 2026 will be something to be proud of, because we need to get back to players that want to be a part of our university, that will appreciate what the university can give them, right? The culture, the buy-in, what Coach Morgan and those guys are going to be emphasizing day in and day out of being great men on and off the field, right? Future leaders, future husbands and fathers. Like, that is what those programs are, what I want my son to be a part of, right? And it's not the guys that are money hungry or looking for the next best opportunity. Like, good for them, right? Good for them. If you want to go in the portal and see if you can get more out there, then good, right? But we're not gonna beg people to stay at our university. We're not gonna overpay guys because they got other universities that are offering more money. Then if that's the case and you don't appreciate what this school can give you, then good luck, right? Because we're going to be fine. The University of Utah is an amazing school with amazing support, and those who want to be a part of it, let's ride.
Love it.
You look at that staff that Kyle Whittingham's building in Michigan with Jay Hill as DC and Jason Beck as OC. That's a heck of a staff he's got brewing there in Ann Arbor.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they're national champs here within a season or two. You're getting great men, great character, and obviously incredible coaches that what Coach Beck's done in the last 2 years, it speaks for itself. And then Jay, I think, is one of the top 10 defense coordinators in the country. And then you couple that with their recruiting abilities and how personable they are and relationships, and then building a staff on top of that with Coach Witt leading I go back just talking outside the box and just talking with people. Like, there's no way Michigan would have hired Coach Witt if Coach Witt didn't have guarantees that he was going to bring who he brought. I mean, that's just the reality of it. And Coach Witt's not a coach anymore in the sense that he is the figurehead. He is managing all these personalities, but he's not calling the defense. He's not calling the offense. Like, in the grand scheme of things, he's very important, but his assistants and the coordinators are the most important people. And he's assembling an incredible staff, and I would tell everyone to watch out.
I love it. What, we've heard a bunch of different names for Utah to replace and replenish the coordinator and offensive line coach and receivers coach. What names? Give us 3 or 4 names maybe come to mind for O-line coaches or receivers, or is there a chance maybe you ever come back and get this thing done? I mean, there's a lot of great personnel out there, Eric, that I know Morgan's got access to.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I told him, right? Like, in the moment, he's struggling. He's such a person that gives his all, especially to his assistants, and I said, Morgan, you're going to have many, many, many coaches that want to be a part of us, right? That know our culture, know who you are, and you're going to have the opportunity to hire who you want to hire, okay? And we got a safeties coach hired who everyone's going to be pumped about. It's not me, okay? But I know who he is. He actually coached me, and he is an unbelievable recruiter, an unbelievable man, and will add value to our program, okay? and we're in the mix with a few offensive coordinators, and he's going to do his due diligence. We're not in a rush, okay? I know the portal's happening, and I know people want to, especially players want to know what we're doing. At the end of the day, like, hey, how about a player stands on his 2 feet and says, listen, I'm committed because my commitment matters and that my name is attached to that, and I don't really care who's my offensive coordinator. I'm going to go out and ball no matter what, right? Like, where are those guys at? I want those guys. I want to go to battle with those guys that are confident in their work ethic, confident in who University of Utah is, and want to be a part of that, right? Like, that's where I get kind of frustrated with these kids and this and that. Like, who's obviously, like, a quarterback going with the coordinator, obviously that matters. But at the end of the day, like, let's be great and not worry about where this and that is. Are you going to go come compete? Are you going to go earn a job? Because you're going to have to do that wherever you go. And adversity is going to hit. And are you going to run from adversity or are you not? So I know some names, offensive line coaches. I know coordinators. I'm not going to be the one to, like, spill the beans because, Morgan trusts me. But he's going to put a great staff together and a great culture and build off the culture that's there. And I'm telling you guys, that our program's going to skyrocket in the years to come because of the man that's leading us. Just like BYU with Kalani, right? Like, I love Jay to death, okay? But people tend to forget that Kalani was one of the best D coordinators and ran that defense, okay? So the culture and the program and the standard is set. Coaches come and go, guys. Like, that's the way it is. As long as the man that's leading the job, leading the men, has the vision, has the culture, you're always going to be in a good place.
Eric Weddle, kind enough to join us right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. When you see, I guess, take us back. When you showed up at Utah and this guy named Morgan Scalley, you're in that same defensive backfield with him. Did you get a feel right away that this guy has a chance to be a coach? Like, this guy feels like a coach, or what was it about Morgan that really jumped out at you when you first met him and started playing with him?
Well, he just has this inept ability to bring others along with him, right? And is he the biggest guy? Is he the fastest, most talented? No, he was never that. But, man, was he the guy that you looked to when tough times were happening and who was going to lead us to victory or who was going to lead us out of a tough moment, right? It was him. And even with all the craziness, the turnover, the head coaches, like, Morgan was the leader of that team. And, he was such a great example to me of how to do things the right way. I came in as an immature freshman who was very selfish and very thought process was, I want to just destroy everybody, right? And he helped me understand that it's bigger than oneself. It's about the team. It's about relationships. It's about buying into the culture and who we are. And we're fortunate enough that he's the leader of our program. And I can't express that enough to the fans and people that support our program, that this guy was meant and built and groomed and born to be the head coach of the University of Utah. He does not have any ties to anywhere else, right? Like, there is no – and I respect it and I have a lot of love for BYU, but he has no connection to BYU like some other coaches, or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Like, he is Utah through and through. Like, that is his only focus, that is his only desire, that is only his only love when you think about it. And why wouldn't you be ecstatic about that person leading our program? Like, we're going to be just fine.
You can't help but think that Dave Revel thinks he was the leader of that crew. I think that Dave
you're 100% right, and I think Dave still thinks that he should be playing in the NFL right now as we speak, as a 45-year-old. But somehow, some way, it didn't happen, and it's everyone else's fault, not his.
I got to tell you, I just did some radio with Dave. I don't know, I guess it'd be about a month or two ago. I was out at his son's football game, and he was like, hey, will you jump on and do this radio thing with me? And I said, absolutely. I jump on and do a little bit of radio with Dave. And I'm telling you, man, that dude is one of the absolute all-time great Utes, man. And he made me laugh so hard. And his son is killing it. His son's a guard. He's playing a guard, and his son's big. And I'm like, where's this coming from, Dave? But he's all proud of his boy, and Dave's still doing well, man.
Yeah, he's, when that whole COVID craziness happened, we moved to Utah for 6 months, and my son actually played with his son, and he was the coach on that Pop Warner team. I think it was 11U or 10U, whatever it was, when we came up there. And it was awesome just to connect with him. And now he's a defense coordinator at Bingham and doing an awesome job up there. So it's cool to see old alums and old teammates trying to give back and do big things out there.
So when you look at that Utah performance, what jumped out at you when you saw them just take Georgia Tech? It almost looked like Georgia Tech back in the day when you were locking down Calvin Johnson in that bowl game in San Francisco. But to see what Utah did and how well they played and the overall performance with Utah and Nebraska and just being able to play at that kind of level, just kind of, talk a little bit about how impressed you were with taking a blue blood like Nebraska and taking them behind the woodshed and just letting them have it.
Yeah, it was nice to see. Nebraska started out fast and had a couple good run plays, and I'm sure everyone was like, "Oh no,
Yep.
I thought we had fixed this," and we had all this bowl prep to work on our run defense, and we shored that up real quick. And Lander said it best. The players know what's going on, and it usually comes back to technique and fundamentals and how to fit certain things up and who's in their gap, who's not in their gap. And in most cases, guys or coaches or players that have played, they know right away who messed up when you're watching it. So it was nice to see. I loved the shots that we were taking offensively, throwing the ball. It looked like a freer offense, going up and down the field. And, it was really an amazing team effort to put a stamp on an incredible season, right? Like, yeah, it was unfortunate we didn't make the playoff, but man, 11 wins is big time, and we all should be proud of that. And the coaches that have moved on had a hand in that, so we should always be grateful and thankful for the effort and the job that those guys did of bringing Utah back. Like 2 years ago was a rough year. And so to bring us back and have an amazing season is something to be proud of.
Well, Mr. Weddle, speaking of being grateful and thankful, we're grateful and thankful you join us. And we are excited because I believe you'll be turning 29 soon.
Yes.
Wow, you guys are awesome. If I was turning 29, I'd be still playing on Sundays and doing some great things. But
do you miss it?
I'm actually turning 41, and the days of the 30s are long gone. And I haven't hit my prime yet, so everyone just needs to watch out. E-Dub is coming through wherever you see me. Great things are going to happen.
I love it.
You and Phillip Rivers were in the same draft classes.
Oh my gosh, Phillip!
Oh, how cool was that?
Yeah, that was. I just wish he, to come back and go in a situation you're playing four of the best defenses in the league. You're fighting 4 games and try to will that team to a win. I wish they would have won and try to make it more compelling. But it just shows how powerful the mind is, and when opportunities come, to take them. Right, like you never know what's going to happen as long as you just go for it. And great things could happen. He got to be a little kid again, playing this great game when for 5 years it was done. Right, yeah. And be able to go out there and execute and process. It just shows the level that a mind can take you as a football player by processing pre-snap, post-snap. Yeah, his arm was a little dead and he couldn't throw past 30 yards, but be able to go in there and run an offense and really on the verge of winning 2 games and should have is just remarkable. And for all those quarterbacks out there, the way you win championships is with your arm and your mind, not with your legs, only at times. You got to win from the pocket and get the ball out on time and kill the defense when you know what's coming. That's who wins. And it's exciting to see the game evolve. But you win the games in the trenches, how you block, how you tackle, and have great quarterback play.
It seemed like, it kind of cracked me up a little bit because in those post-game interviews, you could tell he wanted to be upset that they lost, but he couldn't help but smile because you could tell he was having fun out there.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I mean, you get an opportunity to go back and play. Like, who wouldn't do that, right? And you're just in the moment. You're like grateful because it brings back so many emotions and memories of the game that you miss. Like nothing, you can never replicate the bond that you have with teammates playing the game of football, right? The ins and outs, the weekend, the day-to-day, the preparation, the film, the studying, the game planning, the working out, the rehab, the hot tub, the cold tub, the sauna sessions. Like it's just a very unique job. And to be able to relive that is something that us old guys would always take advantage of if you have the chance to.
Well, Eric, I know these won't be surprises to you, but we're excited to watch the hires. We're excited. We're watching the portal. We're excited to see the guys that will come back. I'm hoping J.J. Buchanan stays put. Obviously, Devin Dampierre, Daniel Bray. I talked about Jackson Binney. A lot of guys that I'm hoping stay put. We'll see the staff assemble, and we'll get you back on, and we'll talk about what Utah football looks like for 2026.
You got it, boys. Always appreciate it. Love you.
Back at you. There he is.
Bud.
Eric Weddle right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
He is the ambassador of Utah football.
Oh, yeah. That's a guy who will eat, sleep, and drink, regardless of where his kid goes. Even if his kid goes to BYU, he'll be supportive 1,000%. But you know what? He's still a Ute.
Yeah.
And will always be a Ute.
Yeah, through and through.
Yeah.
And, to the point that he made where he said, Morgan Scalley is a Ute, and he doesn't have any other associations, unlike other coaches out there.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
This is little chance.
It is awesome. And he's right. I don't know if there's ever been more of a Ute than Morgan Scalley.
No.
He's never wavered.
To be able to
He's never detoured.
To be able to go from grad assistant to position coach to D coordinator to head coach all at the same school. He's never had to move outside of just to a different neighborhood.
In the same rotation.
It's unreal. It's unheard of.
Never a hiccup.
Yeah.
And that's what Eric is trying to drive home. Like, this guy is all things Ute. I also thought, man, Eric gets me all kinds of juiced up for these players to just stay where you're at, man. Stay where you're at. Make things great where you're at. Oh, so you didn't get the reps that you wanted? Work harder. Oh, you didn't break the two deep? Work harder. Stay on the roster. Work harder. Work until you find your way on the field. That's what I'm asking of you. It's not that hard.
Not that hard.
Just do it.
Yep.
Well, but the money. Oh, but another coach. Oh, but they're telling me I got taken. But my parents said. But my agent. But my friends. But I got. Stop. My girlfriend's leaving. Stop. Stay where you're at. Like I'm J.J. Buchanan, Daniel Bray, Devin Dampierre, Jackson Binney. I've named a few of these guys defensively. You want to see Elijah Davis back, John O'Hall? You want to see these guys back? And I want to see them announce it because, like Eric said, because you're Utah men. Just like I've been talking about with BYU. Kiana Tanavasa got on a postgame after the Pop-Tarts was like, my plan is to come back. You're seeing Therian Alexander start to bark about it. Raider DeMooney's barking about it. You saw Parker Kingston release day coming back. It's the excitement and the momentum. And we want to keep that going here in the state.
Hans and Scotty, we'll spin the wheel, a little sports roulette coming up next right here on The Zone.
The wheel is loaded, and it's time to talk some sports. This is Sports Roulette with Hans and Scotty on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. I'm not even going to wait for Lloyd to spin the wheel on this one because I want to make sure that we talk about this. But some breaking news out of BYU and some big news, Hans, for that Cougar for that Cougar defense.
Yeah, the defensive backfield is getting very, very good news. Falatal Satawala announced on Twitter that he plans to stay at BYU.
Run it back.
we're positive that we're not being Les Miles here, right?
Nope, that appears to be his official account. And our guy Mitch Harper said that it is a done deal, returning in 2026.
That is huge news for BYU when you combine it with what we just heard from Jay Hill.
Yeah.
From Gary Andersen in regards to Jay Hill leaving and him staying. So you got Gary Andersen staying. You know, I'm sure that there's still some decisions that have to be made with the defensive staff. But now we're seeing Therian Alexander speak up, Raider Demooney speak up, Satawala speak up. I'd love to see Evan Johnson, because if you got Evan Johnson, Satawala, Demooney, and Therian, your backfield is jacked.
Yeah.
It is so jacked. If you get the news from Isaiah Glasker, Scalley Acera should stay anyways.
Yeah, that makes too much sense.
Tonavasa already made his announcement. Vil Paua is going to stay because his dad's there. Tausili Akana will stay. I mean, this is already really starting to pick up momentum. And it's only one portal window now, right?
Yeah, and it closes, I want to say, the 12th. So, yeah, it's a limited time for sure. And I think that this is really good of BYU to be able to say, okay, you know what? Jay Hill is gone. All right. What do we got to do now? Well, we got to get a defensive coordinator. Sure. But what's the best thing we can do for that defensive coordinator? Load up and bring everybody back. So open up the page, open up the checkbooks, and let's make sure that this defense stays intact, because talent is always number one. You and I, with a lot of these defensive players, well, you could be a pretty good-looking defensive coordinator with that talent. Now, obviously, you're going to need
a good point.
You're going to need the right guy in place, but if you've got the talent, that's a nice safety blanket for a new DC, whether it be in-house or out-of-house, to take over.
Yeah, and now knowing that Gary Andersen is staying, and kind of understanding what the landscape is. You know, I've talked a lot about wanting Gennaro Guilford to stay. I mean, that's an announcement I think we're still all waiting on, right?
Correct. Yep.
Haven't seen that. But let's just say, for the sake of conversation, I think that there are some good candidates to be a defensive coordinator on that BYU defense staff without having to go outside. Because as Gary Andersen said with us, he wants to remain an analyst, wants to be able to mentor the kids, mentor coaches, and do what he's doing as a grandpa, which is great, because you saw what effect that had with Jay Hill this year and the last couple of years. So you could take a guy like Kelly Popinga, and you could make him a defensive coordinator, have Gary Andersen as a mentor, have similar schemes and ideas and understanding, and you could keep this defense largely intact after losing Jay Hill.
Yeah, which is remarkable.
That is, right? Isn't that the whole goal? Is like, okay, this is a gigantic hole in the boat. We just got hit by a big missile. We got a big hole in the boat. We got to patch that. But once we patch the boat, we can raise the West Virginia, and we still got ourselves a battleship.
Yeah.
So I think that, you know, there's a lot of optimism right now. And that's coming off the Satawala announcement. That one had me shook, because I thought for sure Satawala would wait, listen, maybe jump in the portal, listen to offers, and follow Jay Hill. The good news is, anybody that watches Michigan's defensive personnel knows Michigan doesn't need new defensive personnel. They just need organization.
Yes.
They've got incredible defensive personnel. And that's what I've been trying to really feed out there is, you jump in the portal, you head to Michigan, good luck, man. You go from a hero to a zero real fast.
Yeah.
Because you think, oh, well, yeah, but these coaches knew me because I played for them. Well, these coaches get into spring ball, and they're like, man, Johnny A is 6'2", 195 pounds. Johnny B is 6'4", 294 pounds, and doesn't have an ounce of fat on him and moves like lightning. I can take him and I can put him where I want him, and he can do some real damage. So I think it's just great. And by the way, that's not an attack on personnel that would be leaving BYU or Utah, because Satawala would find his way on a 2-deep real fast.
Yeah, but it's a 2-deep.
But it's a 2-deep and you're in a fight.
Yeah.
Satawala coming back to BYU, he is your highlighted superstar. And whoever you now get back, because Jay Hill leaves the safety positions, whoever you now get back to coach the safeties, you've got yourself a real nice group. Raider Damuni and Falata Satawala back. Scotty, come on, man. That's good talent. That's really good talent. And I did not think we would get that news. I didn't think we'd get the Gary Andersen news today.
No, I know.
I didn't think we'd get the Satawala news today. There's a lot of good that's going down for BYU.
Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. All right, so just to revisit some of the news of the day. Number one, Gary Andersen came on, said he's staying. Eric Weddle came on and talked about how great the situation is at Utah, and Morgan Scalley, and told all you Utah fans out there, everything's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. And we just got the news of BYU players coming back. Smith Snowden is in the transfer portal, but I'm sure that there is still a ton of conversations with that young man in terms of what that's going to look like.
And John Henry Daly's in the portal, and I'm hoping conversations are still solid with him.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, son, it's okay. Jump in the portal. You can see what it's about, but just understand we want you here too, because John Henry Daly is a big player.
We're just not getting a lot of the Utah players. I'm staying. We haven't seen that yet.
Well,
which it's not saying we're not going to.
No,
we just haven't seen a lot of that yet.
We haven't seen as much of it yet, but that's why I think, and it sounds like, I mean, according to Eric Weddle, it sounds like Morgan's got a lot that's nailed down.
Yes, just not announced.
Just not announced. And I think when you start announcing it, because like these players, like Satawala, that was announced after Gary Andersen announced. I don't know if that made any type of difference, but I can tell you if I'm a player on that BYU defense, Scotty, and I hear
here's another one,
and I hear Gary Andersen announce, "Hey, I'm back."
Yeah.
It's like, okay, all right, let's go. And you heard Kiana Tanavasa early, and you've heard from Satawala, and now there's another one.
Darian Alexander just announced he's back. They must. I mean, that is a circling the wagons by BYU, saying, "All right, you lost your DC. Guess what? We don't care. We're going to get somebody in here, but more importantly, we're going to take care of you. What do we need?"
Man, a lot of good news rolling in for BYU right now, and that's really just kind of all come down with the Gary Andersen conversation. That's awesome. You know, when Gary came on, he voiced a lot of confidence, bud.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He was backing Kalani and backing BYU and saying, yeah, we're losing Jay, but look at what we're keeping. There's a lot to be excited about here. Obviously, the changes aren't done. I don't think everything's done. I mean, we're going to see hires, and there's going to be a lot of news to come, but I think today is working out better than I thought it would for both schools.
Mm-hmm. All right, Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Take a quick break, come back, and we'll wrap up the show. Get you ready for JJ and Alex right here on the Zone.
Number one. Miss any part of the show? Every moment of every show is available in podcast form by searching Hans and Scotty on your favorite podcasting platform or online at KSLSports.com. This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hans Olsen, Scott Gerard, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. First show of 2026 in the books, Hans.
And it's a busy one.
It was a busy one. Whew. This is a roller coaster ride that is still going to continue to escalate over the next several days, but we'll have complete coverage for you right here on the Zone, whether it be on the air, whether it might be another emergency podcast, whatever the case might be, we got you covered.
And Big thanks to Jay Hill.
Yes.
And big thanks to Scotty for giving me some of the raisins that I saved.
You can have all of the raisins if you want.
Ooh, those are good. They're plump. I do like a good raisin.
See, I do not like raisins in my cinnamon rolls. I do like them in a good oatmeal cookie, though. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I like a good raisin. It throws me back to my childhood when I would be babysat by Dolores. And,
tell me she gave you one of those little packs.
Yeah.
You know what, though?
Raisins.
Yeah.
Okay, finish your, because I've got a raisin story.
Is it Sun-Made? Is that the name
Yeah,
of
with
the
a
raisin?
with a little
box of Sun-Made?
with a woman on the front of them. Yeah.
Dolores used to keep me fed or try to keep me fed with raisins because she felt like they were healthy. But I would eat the box and everything. And
Don't have time to open this thing.
And if it wasn't casserole, I wasn't satiated. I needed substance. I needed good, hearty proteins. But I do have good memories of raisins being there when I need them.
So my mom bought a bunch of those little boxes, and I plowed through all of them in one afternoon. And the result that followed has really kept me from being a raisin guy. Like, I've had a problem with the raisins ever since because
It's legendary in Melba.
yeah,
Melba's treatment plant.
yeah, it was. Let's just say that the old sump pump had to be drained after that bad boy, and I've never quite had the same relationship with raisins after.
Oh man!
And the thing is, I think my mom bought him because, like, we need to make healthier choices with him. He's a little big boned, and so we got to help him out a little bit. And I'm like, all right, well, let's go then.
Meanwhile, Scotty's blasted off, landing on the moon. Well, hello everybody.
Hello.
The raisins are good. Appreciate you. And what a great show to kick off the 2026 radio season.
I know. It's crazy. And, yeah, I know. I'm with all of you. With the football season officially behind us, at least in terms of local teams, yeah, I'm ready for fall camp. Let's go. You know what we need to do? And they played with a little bit in COVID. There needs to be FBS plays through February or through January. Have your championship game. And then in March, FCS football plays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be great.
And so you got your FCS season. And those FCS teams are like, well, they like to play for those big paydays against FBS teams. Well, have a spring game that one of those FCS teams plays an FBS team if they get a contract out. So their spring game is against a FCS team.
Love it.
And then they can still pay him a ton of money, pack the stands, and off you go.
Everybody's making money. Everybody's playing football. We got it year round. That'd be nice.
Absolutely.
We got a couple of bowl games, though. Remember, Cincinnati, it's already underway. And we've got, let's see, Cincinnati Navy is underway, and we've got SMU Arizona kicking off at 6 o'clock tonight.
Let's go. Hans and Scotty, JJ and Alex coming up next. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.